Big ups and hello, welcome to episode number 3 of this Untitled series that I'm doing on my own. Just Jacob is kind of a running name I was thinking, but I don't know. Tell me what you think down below. Need some recommendations. Y'all need to help me out here. But this is episode number 3. Welcome in. Yesterday was such an exciting day. Obviously today there's been the trickling of different videos with James Maddison, his kids at the stadium, at the shop, getting decked out in Spurs gear. It's all really exciting stuff. Some more quotes came out. We got to see there was a 3.5, I believe it was about 3.5 minutes long of an interview that James Maddison did with Spurs TV. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely go check it out. But big ups, welcome in to another edition here on United Spurs of America. If you're tuning in on Jacob TV, big up yourself right now. Wherever you're tuning in, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Help us grow. I've been doing this is now the 3rd daily update from your boy Jacob here at United Spurs of America. So if you like this, come show me some love. Hit the like. Please do get involved in the comments. That's kind of what helps these daily uploads. The more comments you get, the better it is for the algorithm, etc., etc. But you know all that. So without further ado, welcome in. A lot to talk about. Obviously, I've mentioned the Maddison stuff, which I will talk about a little bit further in depth. But off the jump, I really felt like what needed to be addressed was this Pierre-Emile Højbjerg stuff going on. Obviously, there's the rumors going around on Twitter that Atletico Madrid and Tottenham are now in negotiations for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. The player is considered a, quote, very important target for Atleti. I mean, the source, he's got 3,000 followers. I was going to say subscriptions. He's got 3,000 followers on Twitter, so I don't know. Y'all tell me, what are we thinking here? Is this guy trustworthy? Let me zoom it in. This is the source that I saw. Again, this is the tweet that Atletico Madrid and Tottenham are in negotiations per this guy, whoever this guy is. I'm guessing some kind of La Liga reporter. I don't know. If y'all know this guy, let me know. I've never heard of him. But for me, obviously Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, he's been here for a little bit, quite some time, you could say. He's not the first person on my list of people that I want to get rid of. When we look at this midfield, it is starting to get crowded. Obviously, we have a lot of players that play similarly. I would say Højbjerg, Sar, Skip, they're all similar in the ways that they play. But if Højbjerg did leave, I feel like there is a hole that he would leave behind. Now, listen, just hear me out. Since he came from Southampton under Jose Mourinho, he has been our best midfielder. I feel like he's been the most available. Availability, sometimes your greatest ability. He's also, granted, he's not always the prettiest. He's kind of clunky, but he's gotten some really crucial assists. I can think of Liverpool, that he also got a goal, very crucial goal, I think 2 seasons in a row now. He always seems to uplift us in moments in which there seems to be no one doing that. I'm not saying he's this great midfielder. I would love a Højbjerg off the bench, honestly, in the last 20 minutes of a match to help clean it up, maybe come in for Bissouma at the end. I don't know. I feel like there's still a space for him. So I want to know from y'all down below, how much are you taking for Højbjerg, or is he just a mechanical piece to this Tottenham side that maybe we just need to keep him? Maybe he's that valuable to us that we need to consider that. Maybe not. I'm really curious where everyone stands with this. Obviously, if this was a live, you know me, I would put some kind of poll in the chat and really test out the waters here. But, you know, I've seen from people I've talked to about the situation, they seem to be of the mindset that, you know, I can't get him out the door fast enough. 25, 35 is kind of right around the ballpark. For me, I feel like 45, 50 is not outside of the realm of possibilities. To me, you want to get as much as you can for this guy, especially if he's going to be leaving behind a hole that you then have to fill with maybe Romeo Lavia from Southampton. I wouldn't mind it if we needed another DM. Romeo, Lavia, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I just thought of that off the top of my head, that maybe he could be that person to fill in if we do sell a Højbjerg. But if we could get 45, 50, I'm fine selling him. But if you're not meeting me around 50-ish, quid, euro, chalk, whatever you want to call it, then really I don't think you can even open the door yet, because, he has a role here. As much as he's not the answer, as much as he's not the guy that we need going forward, I at least would get one more year out of him, then maybe look at 25, 35 the next year, depending how he does. But really, at the end of the day, we got to figure who wants him? Does Ainge want him? Does Postecoglou see this man actually fitting into his system? These are questions I don't know. I won't know till we know what Ainge says and things that are leaked whenever we go do our Thailand tour, Southeast Asia, whatever it's called. I know we got a game in Perth. I've been bringing this up every episode. This is the third time now I brought it up. We have a match in Perth in like 2 weeks, y'all. So we got to get this squad lined up. Honestly, the James Maddison thing for me, I'm so glad to see that we got that done early. We got Vicario Sicario. I'm so excited about that guy as well. David Rea, no problem. No David Rea, no problem. You know, we said, hey, look, we're just going to go out and get our second choice now. A little bit cheaper. I've heard a lot of people who follow the Serie A, or however you pronounce it, who watch Empoli, they all say that this guy had a phenomenal year. Arguably one of the best in Serie A. I've heard people say he was the best, but then again, you got to think Onana plays in Inter. Who's the AC Milan Magnan? I mean, there's a lot of really quality keepers out there in Serie A. So I don't know that Vicario Sicario is the best, but he could be. I don't know. I haven't seen him, so admittedly, I don't know enough. But what I will say is I'm not writing this kid off, and I like how efficiently we are. I feel like the brain of Tottenham must be listening to the Spurs community on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever have you, because honestly, we have all been saying certain, that we want business done a certain way. We want to see some, a little pep in our step, a little try in our heart, if you will. So for me, this is just great news. We haven't even hit July, and we've got James Maddison in for under 50 mil, and we sent Harry Winks. Okay, so the Højbjerg thing. Again, tell me what y'all think below. I'm going to move away from that. Again, I've provided, I think, a substitute if we do sell him. I think I've provided a good price tag for him, which was around 45 is probably the lowest I go, but 50 mil I think would get me interested, and definitely I feel like if we're gonna spend 60 mil on Richarlison, Mason Mount goes for 60, Kai Havertz goes for what, 75. And then we're talking Rice for 105. There's guys going all over the place for absorbent amounts of money. There's a lot of money in the league right now, and there's no reason why we can't be capitalizing on it as well, like these other clubs. So if we're going to sell him, let's get some good money for him is what I say. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you all about was just what stood out to me most in this James Maddison interview, which was the thing that whenever he talked to Ange Postecoglou, now this is 2 for 2 that I love what Ange Postecoglou has said to these players. All right, I love the quotes that came out with Vicario Sicario, but this quote with James Maddison, he said, whether or not you come, or excuse me, let me start that over. Whether you come or not, you will see a completely different Spurs team this season. And then he later on goes on to say that how those words stuck with him, how him saying that really shows something special. I think about the mindset of Ange Postecoglou. This is a guy who's always like a salmon. He's been like a salmon in the stream, constantly fighting uphill. There's bears clawing at him, etc., etc. But he's swimming upstream, so not uphill, swimming upstream, constantly. In Australia, I have some Australia friends, might I add, and they have said that in order to keep people humble out there, they like to continually bring them back down to earth, so that way they don't get too this is what I've heard again, so don't quote me for saying it. I also believe that the toilets, whenever you flush them, that they go the opposite direction of what they do here in the States, but that's just because of a hemisphere thing. I could be wrong about that. But back to Postecoglou, I think that this shows a little bit about his mindset. It's kind of like, I don't really give a shit if you're coming or not, but like, we could use you. This is how I'd use you, and come with it. If not, it doesn't really matter, because how this Spurs is not going to be the Spurs next season. And that, to me, I think all fans can get on board with that message. New Spurs, new identity. Let's look as far away from last season as we possibly can. And I think that Ange Postecoglou can really instill that mindset. Now, in order to instill that mindset, you got to also think, why are we going to have certain guys here? I hope that we keep seeing more outs. Again, part of this Maddison deal, not part of it. They said it's a separate deal, but I mean, I'm going to give credit right now. How many ever minutes this is in? I think about 10 minutes into this thing, maybe, if that. I I'm going to give, is it Levy credit? Am I giving Levy credit right now? I'm giving credit to whoever it was that got these deals over the line, that got us James Maddison for under 50, around 40, and then that also got Harry Winks going the other way for a clean 10. I heard it was 8 with 4 plus, with 4 if they get promoted, but 10, 8, 12, anything. Honestly, if you'd have given us 5, that is a A+ negotiation on my end. So whoever it was, Daniel Levy, good job. Whoever, Scott Munn, there's another guy, Gabinini, I think that's his name, Gabini, whatever his name, whoever it is, if y'all are listening, good fucking job, because honestly, that is quite the bit of business to get in a guy. Like I said, James Maddison in his prime can offer us so much. He's 26. This whole injury thing, I'm not buying it. There's a lot of people that talked about, oh, James Maddison's injury prone. Again, last summer, I said this on episode 2, I was sleeping. Last summer, I was asleep on this man, James Maddison. Michael, shout out Michael. He was all up in arms saying, why wouldn't you want James Maddison here? He would be a complete game changer for us. He's such a quality player, such a Premier League proven player. And I was just I didn't like him because he always scored on us. And maybe that's bad on my end. I need to grow and learn from that, because I didn't like him because I was tired I just thought he was a dick. And then all the stuff he tweeted about Gareth Bale, which shout out Gareth Bale, that's the homie. But he was 15 years old. I think we got to let bygones be bygones at a certain point. But for me, y'all, I'm still so excited about this James Maddison signing. The quote that comes out with Postecoglou, I'm so excited with the Postecoglou signing still. Can we still go back and say, I'm so glad that we got our kangaroo man. We got the kangaroo man to sing the kangaroo song, and he's going to be here. I love what he's doing. I love his mindset. Ange Postecoglou, I think, is the truth. I'm so glad to see my man Paul Beatty be right, because he said all along, this is the man we want, and he would reinstill that hope in us. And honestly, I'm getting the hope again. I hate it. There's a photo that's going around that we're all sharing, right? We've all seen the photo. It's the triangle, right? At the top, it says, I get my hopes up. I get disappointed. I start to believe again, and then I get my hopes up, and then I get disappointed again. It's kind of the cycle of being a Tottenham Hotspur fan. But I'm definitely in the spot that I'm starting to believe again. I'm starting to get those rumblies and the tumblies, the tinglies and the dinglies. You know what I'm talking about, y'all? Because honestly, if we could get the last bit of business that I really want to get done, and that is being Mickey Van de Veen and Tapsoba, if we get both of those players in, I'm so happy. All I care about then is let's get some more out, and then in January we can reevaluate. I understand the left back is a problematic position at this point. Right back, we're still remaining to be seen. We kind of have a whole stable of horses back there, and we don't know which one's going to offer us the best, right? Real's kind of good at the defending. Pedro Porro's good at the going forward, but not at the defending. Jed Spence, we don't know. He's a lot of question marks. One good game versus Arsenal in the Cup. I mean, there's a lot of question marks around that position. I think a lot of question marks around the left back position. Are we going to play Ben Davies out there? Could Mickey Van de Veen come in and play that position? That's another thing I've heard thrown around. He could do it. This is, if you've watched me throughout over a year, I've been talking about Mickey Van de Veen and how fast and pacey he is and how good he could be. He's such a young kid, so tall. So you get these 2 deals done. I really like our prospects going into the season. I really like the tools that we're giving Ange Postecoglou to work with. And who knows, maybe we get some more surprise signings in there. I've heard a few right wingers tossed around. Now, for me, the positions that I think after center back, because if we have to, we absolutely it is critical that from this point forward, we focus on center backs. That's why I keep talking about Mickey Van de Veen, Edmund Tapsoba. I'll even take this Tossing kid as an extra, but it can't just be one plus a long lay. It can't just be one plus a whoever the fuck. It's got to be 2 studs, one for now, one for the future, but both who can contribute immediately. And someone who can compete with Romero for the job, someone who could compete with either Udogie, Perisic, or Ben Davies, whoever we play on the left back. This is something also I wanted to talk about. It was a conversation that I was having today on Spurs Talk Show. Shout out Sean. Congratulations on the 10K. If you know Sean, big him up. If you haven't already, you likely have, but big up Sean with Spurs Talk Show. He just hit the big 10K, but they were doing a show on there, and I had to come in and call in and say what I had to say, because they were talking about the captaincy. Who's going to be the captain for Tottenham Hotspur come the first match versus Brentford? Who's going to be our captain? Is it going to be Harry Kane? almost certainly is going to be Harry Kane. But then they got on the topic of, if it wasn't Kane, then who would it be? And everyone's saying Mr. Bentancur, which, don't get me wrong, I love me some Bentancur. But he hasn't been here long enough. I don't know that he bleeds Tottenham Hotspur. Plus, if you saw that picture of him that was circulating with his leg, I mean, his leg is looking very untoned. So we're talking about giving a captaincy to a guy who can't even play, first and foremost. And then we don't know what he's going to look like when he does come back. So let's look at the other options, right? Let's also look at our past captains, obviously Hugo Lloris, Harry Kane, and then we get to the likes of Eric Dyer and Ben Davies, and Harry Winks was captain once for a European match, I believe. And then I have people saying to me, which, shout them out, respect all opinions, but people saying that Heung-min Son doesn't have the captain's material. He's not made a captain's material. And I asked them, what is captain's material? So please, this is another thing I want y'all to comment. If you're still watching, how many ever minutes in we're into this thing, the timer's all messed up, but how many ever minutes we're in, tell me, what is this captain's material that I've heard about? Because if Dyer has it, Winks has it, Davies have it, Kane has it, which I've often questioned Kane's performances when he's wearing the captain's armband. I think it holds him back a little bit. I think the responsibility maybe is a little too much sometimes, and he can't freely express himself, and he's not that vocal leader that we need. I'm not saying Sonny is the vocal leader that we need, but if someone other than Harry Kane was to be captain of this squad, please tell me down below. Hit that like and subscribe, but please tell me down below who's a captain realistically. We're talking about Højbjerg's going to leave. Okay, that people have said maybe he should be captain. Bentancur, okay, maybe. Romero, I would listen to a little bit of Romero, because again, that's a guy I know who bleeds Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe becoming a captain would help settle him down a little bit, give him a little bit of responsibility, and then maybe he stops acting so immature sometimes on the pitch. Again, I just want to caveat that about Romero a little bit, because you know how my mind works. I'm like a squirrel in a bunch of trees in the branch. You just quite never know where I'm going to go next. But Romero, this guy's been here 2 seasons. His first season was great. His second season was not good. It was shit. And we're all getting up in arms about him. I think we all need to pump the brakes a little bit on this Romero criticism. Has been the summer of fucking hate Christian Romero, and I don't understand. Can someone tell me down below why we hate Romero? Because I don't. I love him going in. I love him taking players out of matches. I love the energy he brings. He'll bleed for Tottenham. So that's kind of why I think maybe he should be considered for our next captain, if we're talking about captains after Harry Kane. Another name that got brought up was James Maddison. The man put ink to paper fucking maybe 24 hours ago, and we're already talking about giving him captaincy. Son's been here for how long, and bled and cried and spilt sweat and everything for this club. That's my captain. So I'm curious what y'all think down below. That is the last little bit I wanted to talk about. I'm curious who y'all would who has the captain's material, and what the fuck is captain's material? Someone explain to me what is captain's material, and how does Sonny not have it, but Dyer, Davies, and Winks have it, and Kane has it? Someone please explain it to me. But again, I really appreciate y'all. If you did make it this far, please do hit a comment down below. It helps. It goes a long way. Even if you're leaving a couple comments, I will always respond to the comments, whether it's on United Spurs of America or on Jacob TV. So please keep it locked. Hope you like these daily uploads. Let me know as well down below if you think this is something cool. If you enjoy it, a little shorter snippets from me daily. That way to help supplement the channel. Trying to grow and do things over here. So please let me know what you think down below. Hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, up the lads and come on, you Spurs. Coys.
United Spurs of America.
Boy.
With your host,